Welcome to Shadowline News, where we bring you the stories that shape Kenya's future. Today we're diving into a revelation that has left many Kenyans questioning their government's spending priorities during these challenging economic times. A shocking new report from the Controller of Budget has exposed that Kenya's government spent an astronomical 6.3 billion Kenya shillings on hospitality items during the 2024-2025 financial year. This translates to a staggering 17.2 million Kenya shillings being spent daily on tea, snacks, and entertainment across government ministries and agencies. What makes this revelation particularly troubling is the context in which it occurs. These expenditures happen despite President William Ruto's repeated austerity directives and promises of fiscal responsibility. While ordinary Kenyans tighten their belts and struggle with rising costs of living, their public servants appear to be indulging in expensive refreshments at taxpayer expense. If you find this analysis valuable and want to stay informed about the stories that matter most to Kenya's future, hit that subscribe button now. We're building a community of informed citizens who refuse to let important issues slip by unnoticed. The timing of this expenditure raises serious questions about government priorities. As Kenyans grapple with collapsing education and health sectors due to underfunding, the sight of billions flowing toward hospitality expenses creates a jarring contrast. Teachers have gone on strike over unpaid salaries, hospitals lack essential medicines, yet there seems to be no shortage of funds for government tea parties. This isn't just about tea and Mandazi, though those humble snacks have become powerful symbols of misplaced priorities. It's about a culture of excess that appears deeply embedded in Kenya's public sector. When civil servants can justify spending nearly 20 million shillings daily on refreshments, it suggests a disconnect from the economic realities facing the citizens they serve. The Controller of Budget's report serves as more than just an audit. It's a mirror reflecting the gap between government rhetoric and reality. President Ruto campaigned on a platform of fiscal discipline and economic transformation. His administration has repeatedly called for belt-tightening measures and warned of the need for austerity. Yet these very institutions seem unable to model the financial restraint they preach. Consider what 6.3 billion Kenya shillings could accomplish if redirected toward productive uses. This amount could build hundreds of classrooms, equip dozens of health centers, or provide scholarships for thousands of bright but disadvantaged students. Instead, it's vanished into a cycle of endless meetings, conferences, and refreshment sessions that add questionable value to public service delivery. The daily expenditure of 17.2 million Kenya shillings on hospitality items also raises questions about accountability mechanisms within government. How do these expenses get approved? Who signs off on such massive hospitality budgets? The fact that this spending continued unabated despite presidential directives suggests either willful defiance of executive orders or a system so broken that directives from the highest office carry no weight. What's particularly concerning is how normalized this excessive spending appears to have become. Government officials seem to view lavish hospitality as an entitlement rather than a privilege funded by hardworking taxpayers. This mindset reflects a broader problem of public sector entitlement that has plagued Kenya for decades. For our viewers who appreciate thorough analysis of Kenya's most pressing issues, remember that Shadowline News brings you these deep dives every week. We're not just reporting the news, we're helping you understand its implications for your future and your family's well-being. The revelation about hospitality spending also highlights the crucial role of oversight institutions like the Controller of Budget. Without Margaret Nyakango's office shining a light on these expenditures, Kenyans might never have known how their taxes were being spent. This underscores the importance of maintaining strong, independent oversight bodies that can hold government accountable. However, exposure alone isn't enough. The real test will be whether this revelation leads to genuine reform or merely temporary embarrassment. Previous audits have uncovered similar wasteful spending, yet the culture of excess persists. What mechanisms exist to ensure that future hospitality spending is reasonable and justified? The government's response to this revelation will be telling. Will officials dismiss it as routine expenses necessary for government operations? Will they promise reforms while quietly maintaining the status quo? Or will this moment catalyze genuine change in how public resources are managed? For ordinary Kenyans struggling with inflation, unemployment, and inadequate public services, this news hits differently. Every shilling spent on unnecessary hospitality is a shilling that could have improved their children's schools or their local health facilities. It's a shilling that could have been returned to them through lower taxes or invested in job-creating infrastructure projects. The tea and Mandazi scandal also reveals something about Kenya's political culture. In a society where public office is often viewed as a path to personal enrichment rather than service, excessive hospitality spending becomes normalized. Officials may genuinely believe they deserve such perks as compensation for their public service. This mindset needs fundamental restructuring. Public service should be viewed as exactly that, service to the public, not an opportunity for personal indulgence at taxpayer expense. The millions spent daily on hospitality reflect a system that has lost sight of its primary purpose, serving the Kenyan people. As we wrap up today's analysis, it's worth remembering that transparency and accountability require active citizen participation. Reports like this one from the Controller of Budget only matter if citizens demand action. Your voice, your vote, and your continued engagement with these issues are what will ultimately drive change. This is Shadowline News, committed to bringing you the stories that matter most to Kenya's future. Stay informed, stay engaged, and remember that an educated citizenry is democracy's strongest foundation. Until next time, keep questioning, keep demanding better, and never stop holding your leaders accountable.